Subscribe to Tech Altitude and press the bell icon to get notified for the latest videos.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech Altitude. And last night Sony announced its new controller for the upcoming PlayStation 5. The new controller is called as the DualSense controller, and there are a lot of things new in this controller, starting with the design. Oh wait, I'll not talk about the design first, I'll talk about the haptics first, as this is the most interesting thing in the new controller. Sony says, and I quote, "It can give you a variety of powerful sensations such as small jitteriness while driving through a mud." If this is true, then Sony has a really game-changing haptic feedback in this controller. The game developers can take a lot of advantage of the new haptics and add various types of different vibrations in their controller, such as a small green like vibrations when you're driving off-road or when you just hit a pole or a building. Different sensations can be added inside the game and make your gaming experience really better. Apart from the new haptics, according to me, this is the coolest thing that a controller can have. It's called the adaptive triggers, and the adaptive triggers will be on the L2 and the R2 buttons on the controller. Now what this means is the tension of the buttons or the triggers can be adapted according to the game. So you can really feel the tension such as pulling a trigger of the gun, or the tension such as drawing an arrow onto a bow. And this makes a really cool feature of the new controller, as this makes gaming really immersive, and I'm really excited to grab my hands on the new controller. Nice work, Sony. With all this, there is no longer a share button on the DualSense controller. The DualSense controller has a new create button which will replace the share button on the Sony's PlayStation controller. Now Sony has kept this a secret as they are not sharing what exactly the creator button can do, but Sony says that it will allow the gamers to share their gameplay but with more creation or more creativity on their gaming or their sharing content. So we'll see what the create button can actually do when the PlayStation gets launched. There's also a built-in microphone array inside the controller, so you don't have to carry headset everywhere for having a conversation with your friends inside the game. The controller also has a rechargeable battery and a USB Type-C port for charging the controller. And lastly, let's talk about the design of the DualSense controller. With all the added features that I mentioned earlier in this video, it would have been a really tough time for the design team of Sony to design this new controller, as it has to embrace and carry on the legacy of the DualShock controller. And by the looks of it, I think that they have kept their promise, and I think that they have hit the ball out of the park with this DualSense controller, and it can carry on to the legacy of the DualShock controller. The new controller is completely different than its previous ones, with the new dual tone white color. The trackpad is even bigger on the new controller, and there is a different angle for the triggers. And with that, the angle of the hand grips is also changed a little bit, and the hand grips are also of a different design than its predecessor. With all this, the light bar has also changed its position. Instead of the top, it is now around the touchpad, and this really looks futuristic. In conclusion, no matter what people say, I really like the new DualSense controller for the upcoming PlayStation 5. My only complaint to Sony is that we need a matte black variant for the new DualSense controller, and the second complaint is that bring back all the legendary colors to the legendary buttons, that's your box, circle, triangle and the X buttons. Other than that, the new controller is really cool, and I can't wait to get my hands on it and play with it. So that's been it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.